Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about the MACD divergence strategy. So kind of like the two different ways that you can use it. I have gone over the MACD and I have gone over divergence in older videos, but just going to kind of touch on specifically using the MACD for this, because you can use, like with divergence, guys, you can use, like the RSI. You can use the RSI stochastic. I'm not going to bother writing that one out. You can use the MACD, and pretty much you can use any indicator, because it's just basically what divergence is that price action is telling you something different than the indicator is, right? However, you really should be using, or in my opinion, I guess I shouldn't say you should, but in my opinion, it's kind of like best practice to use momentum indicators, just because it gives you an extra confirmation. So that's just my opinion, though. You can definitely use anything that you want to use. I'm not an expert. I'm just sharing my opinions with you, of course. By the way, before we get into everything else, because I always get so excited and start talking, a few little things. If you want to subscribe to my channel, that'd be awesome. I'm going to be putting out one video every single day this month. Let me know in the comments what kind of videos you want to see. I do listen to that stuff. So if there's something specific you want me to talk about, I'm happy to do it. I have a lot of videos coming out. So definitely lots to talk about there. And number 3, we are looking for funded traders for my funding program, or AKA prop firm. I'm going to leave the link to that below. So if you have any questions about that, I'll definitely get in the comment section and answer you back as well. So yeah, but I will just get into this, by the way. And another little thing, I know I'm talking really fast here, but let me know if these candlesticks are clear to you. Like, let me know that that's all looking clear, because I haven't been filming for a while. So I want to make sure I have like the best settings for you guys. And that's it. So getting right into the video, again, we're looking at the MACD strategy. And today we're going to look at regular divergence. And guys, so there's regular and there is hidden divergence, okay? And I definitely need to figure out a better way to be writing stuff on this, because I suck at it. I have a new computer coming too, and I think I'll be able to actually like write things in like with a pen. So it'll be better than using my mouse, because clearly you can barely read this. So there's regular and then there's hidden divergence, but we're going to look at regular divergence today, meaning that we're looking for a divergence that indicates a reversal, okay? And then hidden divergence, of course, you're looking for a continuation. So I can do another video on hidden divergence, which is actually my preferred way to use divergence. But I'm going to show you regular today, because that's what I most often use with these two kind of little methods. And I'm just really showing you the two ways to incorporate the MACD and divergence, okay? Or how to use the MACD when you're looking at divergence. So because I know some people are going to ask me, maybe some of you are new, maybe some of you, don't like indicators, you don't use indicators very often. I mean, you can go in here and you just search MACD and it'll plot it just like this. Okay, so I don't touch anything on the MACD, I use it as is. Some people do adjust it a little bit, just personal preference. I don't believe it needs to be. It always works for me this way. So yeah, that's what I look for. Now, when we're looking at divergence, remember what we're looking for. So when we're looking at bullish divergence, which we're going to find that at the end of a downtrend. So the downtrend we're looking at specifically today is this one here, okay? And really what we're looking at, we want to see divergence happening near the end of a trend so that we can catch a reversal. So this isn't like an absolutely perfect reversal, because we only get like a, kind of like a little push to the upside. And I wouldn't consider this a strong trend, but you could have definitely caught an entry here. And I didn't want to spend all day looking for examples. I just wanted to get into it. So make sure you're using confluence and extra confirmation and stuff like that too. And so when we're looking at bullish divergence, we'll look at that first. What we're looking for is when price is making lower lows, okay? So price is making lower lows, which it is here. The MACD at the same time down here, I already have the arrow put in just so I could remember where I was, is making higher lows. And what this indicates is that we have a shift in momentum, okay, and a possible reversal opportunity, which we did get. And had you used extra confirmation and seen, paid attention to price action, for all my price action traders, you would see that this was a really good buy opportunity, or could have been a good buy opportunity. And that's really it, guys. Really, really simple. Now, for this method, so there are two different ways you can do this. For this method, I obviously looked at these two lines, okay? And it's the signal line and the other one's just like an EMA. I won't get into like how to calculate those and stuff. I never really do because I just find that really boring, and who really wants to know that? Like, you guys want to know how to trade and about technical analysis, but if you want to know, you can definitely, it's all over the internet, guys. So yeah, just look it up and it'll be there, or you can ask me below and I can probably find a reference for you if you're interested on what those two lines mean. But basically here I'm using these lines, okay? So that's one method. So again, we're finding lower lows, price actions making lower lows at the end of a downtrend. And remember, this is bullish regular divergence, okay? So if you're taking notes, I'd write that down. So bullish regular divergence at the end of a downtrend is where you're most often going to see it, unless you're, scalping or something like that. And the MACD on the lines are making higher lows. Okay, so the two lines are making higher lows. You're going to use the low of whichever line is on the bottom there, okay? And that's how you do that. Now, the other method you can use, and we might be able to use the same example. Let's kind of erase all this and see. So we're still looking at bullish divergence, though. Bullish regular divergence is what we're looking at. And when it comes to divergence, guys, like, I'll just be honest with you, I always keep notes on it because divergence can get really, like, it's one of these things. There's so many different terms, like where there's bullish regular divergence, bullish hidden divergence. Just keep a little notepad on you when you're getting used to the terms, or if you just want reference. Yeah, just keep a little notepad because it can get definitely confusing, even for me. Like, sometimes I'm like, what is it that I'm trying to talk about here? So the other method to do it, you guys, is to look at, and I don't know if it's going to work out particular here, I think it is, the histogram. And when you're looking at the histogram to spot divergence, you want to use two of the same color, okay? And that's obviously always how it's going to work because you're not going to try to connect like, this guy and this guy. I guess you could, but just remember that you're looking at the lows, which would be the red, and the highs, which would be the green here, okay? So the lows are the red, the highs are the green. And again, when we look at bullish regular divergence, we're looking at the indicator making higher lows, while at the same time, price is making lower lows, okay? And that did happen here as well. So what we can see when we plot this out, so you can literally drag your cursor over to this exact point, okay, where we connected the histogram there, and the same thing here. And we're going to see that price definitely made lower lows here, higher lows here. So that's the second way to do it. You can use the histogram. Either is fine. It just comes down to preference on what you prefer to do. Again, to be honest with you, I don't use this a whole lot. I usually use the RSI, and I usually use see, I get mixed up with the terms too. I usually use hidden divergence, okay, versus regular divergence because I like continuations, except instead of reversals. But we talk about everything on this channel, so obviously I'm going to give you, my input on it and how I would do it. Now, it's no good to just leave you with, this is what divergence is. I will give you a brief explanation on how I would use this. And because I trade zone to zone, what I'm doing is when I spot divergence, any type of divergence, so hidden or regular, I need it to occur near a key level, right? And most often it is going to work that way because all of these things that we talk about, like different indicators, price action, it's really all coming back to the same thing. And that's why patterns in Forex work. So I always find it really funny when people comment and say, on my videos or other videos and stuff, and say like, this is a wrong way to do it. And it's really, there's no right or wrong way to trade in the Forex market. Like, it all, if you're good and you can spot different pieces of technical analysis and you can get with the trends and you can, really study and learn all these patterns and methods, it all comes back to the same stuff. And it's that price reacts to certain levels in a way that, makes sense with the fundamental shifts, and also makes sense with, like, if you think about it, when all of the big, when the hedge funds and when the bankers and when kind of what I call the big guys, when they're trading, they're looking at these key levels too, and that's why it works. So I'm going off on a tangent now, but this is, yeah, I'm always looking for a key level. So what I would do here when I spot that hidden divergence, I'd look for, okay, am I seeing rejection at this key level, which we did end up seeing here. It was a little bit later, and then confirmation, and then I'd enter a buy there. So that's how I would do it. I want to see a zone because I don't want to leave you with, you know, kind of nothing. Now I'm going to go on to the next example because I'm going to make this too long because I keep going off talking about other things. So we're going to go back and look at, I did save, hopefully I can find it, an example back here. I might have already passed it. Let's see if we can find it. Because next we're going to look at bearish divergence, you guys. And if not, if I can't find what I've done, I'm going to just, I might have already passed it, guys. If I can't find it in a second, what I'll do is just find one again. I'll just spot one with you guys. I hate doing that because I find when I'm looking for something, like when I go to look for it, it's all fun and games when no one's watching, and as soon, okay, here it is. Yeah, it's all fun and games when no one's watching. As soon as I'm like, the camera's on, I'm like, oh, I can't find any examples. So that's why I did it this way. Okay, so complete opposite of regular bullish divergence is regular bearish divergence. So we are looking for it to happen, obviously, at the end of an uptrend because we're looking for a reversal, right? And sometimes you're going to see, you know, just a shorter term reversal. We are on the 4-hour chart. So this is just really a big pullback, but you could still catch an entry there, or you might see a major reversal. It depends on what level you're at, right? So you'd have to zoom out, look at overall structure. Kind of to backtrack a bit, I am using the 4-hour time frame, but this really works on any time frame, guys. As with anything, the higher the time frame, the more reliable it's going to be, okay? Because those levels just tend to be respected more. And so what we're looking for here, so that we're looking for the indicator to make lower highs while price is making higher highs. So I've actually used this little area here as an example. So first we're going to look at the signal line and the EMA again, okay? So these two here. So this is where we're seeing that divergence happen. And then if we go up to the exact price action at this moment, so you can drag your cursor over when you're back testing. Obviously you can't do that in real time because you're waiting for it to happen, or you're looking at it just recently happening. But we're look at the exact same time, we are obviously making higher highs, right? So this is a really good example of regular bullish divergence. And then again, bearish divergence. And then again, we see that reversal. So you're going to want extra confirmation. We're never going to use just one thing alone to enter a trade, okay? Now, the next way you can do this is, again, use the histogram. And so this time we're looking for the highs, okay? So it gets a little bit trickier here. And this example I don't think is going to work out, but we're going to see. So here we can see, because remember, we have to use these kind of little tops, right? We use these two tops here, they are making higher highs, okay? If we use these two here, which is what we can do actually, and we will find the same thing, just over a longer period, we're going to see that exactly what we were seeing before, just again, over a little extended period. So here we have price making higher highs, and the histogram on the MACD is making lower highs. So the only issue here is that this was a little bit more precise, right? It was a little bit more precise. This, if you were to sell right now, you'd have to have a pretty wide stop. So in this case, this did end up being a little bit more accurate, okay? So obviously not everything's gonna be perfect that I'm showing you, not every example, but this is how you would plot it. And again, just wait for your key level. I'm sure most of you would realize once you saw this divergence, you could say, okay, well, my divergence is happening pretty much at this zone. right? So your stop loss is probably going to be above here anyway. So this still would have worked out for most people using a proper risk reward and stuff like that. So that works out fine. One last thing I do want to tell you about divergence, and not many people talk about this, is that pay attention to when you're seeing a flat line as well. So a flat line is still an indication that we're seeing divergence. So I would consider this a flat line, right? Like there's really very, very minimal angle in this line, if any. It's probably not a perfect, horizontal line, but it's very, very flat. So if you're seeing kind of the same thing occur, like when you're looking for bullish or bearish divergence, I'm telling you, the terms with divergence really, they really mess me up when I start talking about it and getting excited and blurting everything out. But yeah, so when you're looking at a flat line, you can treat it the same way. So had this line been more flat, I would still treat it the same way as divergence, okay? It's just obviously if you have an angle to your line, it's a little bit more, I guess, a bigger confirmation, okay? Because there's more of a change there in momentum. Because remember that the histogram's really telling you that you either have high or low momentum. So what this is telling you here, it's not just, a magic graph. It's telling you that momentum has slowed, which is obviously an indication that buyers or sellers are kind of wearing out. There's some wear in the market. There's some exhaustion there, and we might see a reversal. So I think that's everything. I'm going to leave you here. I think this is a little bit longer than I like to make my video, so I apologize about that. Hopefully you guys stuck around. Again, I am going to link my funding program below. If you want to check that out, that'd be awesome. We are looking for traders for our program all the time. If you have any questions about that, let me know. If you have any tips for me for the videos, if you have any suggestions, again, I'm making like 28 more videos this month. So that's like my big goal I made for myself. If you guys want to see me in the videos, like I'm happy to hop on webcam as well instead of just sharing my screen. But I think last time I did that, you guys said, nah, like we just want to see the screen. It doesn't offend me. Like it's fine. You can probably just see everything better anyway. But yeah, so that's it. And I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be tomorrow. Okay, bye guys.